Welcome to day 4 of the 5-day money challenge. We are live. How are we? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, welcome. It's day 4. If you're joining us for the very first time, welcome to the 5-day money challenge. You can go back and go over every day and it will still work. If you have been with me the last 3 days and today's your 4th day, welcome back. I'm so excited to hear how you're doing, who's receiving money, who's receiving miraculous events, invitations, energy, money, surprises, gifts. What is changing for you in your world? And if you are new to me, welcome. My name is Dr. Adila Rafiz, and I am a mind-body expert. I specialize in helping transform people's lives in all situations, whether it's love, money, business, success, by working with your body, energetics, and your nervous system. Okay, so oh look, somebody received a lot of money yesterday. Congratulations. That is great news. I'm so happy for you. Keep the good news coming. Keep your results coming. We're doing something really powerful today. This is an exercise I come back to year after year. It's very, very powerful. And today we are clearing your energetic resistance to money, wealth, and receiving. Okay, this is huge. This is huge. This is one where I actually take you back energetically through the timeline of your life and clear the energetic resistance that has been created to money, wealth, and receiving because of the things that we have seen, heard, or experienced in the earlier years of our life. And we sometimes have no idea about the subconscious decision we made, the subconscious idea that we got about something being safe or unsafe, good or bad, based on our subconscious mind from what we saw or heard. Okay, so currently, however old you are, wherever you are in the world, whatever phase of life you are in, you might be thinking, I would really like more money. I'm so open to receiving more money. In fact, I really need more money right now. When or why would I have ever decided that money is not good, or I don't want it, or I'm not in alignment or congruence with it? Like, where did that come from? So I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory so you understand, and then we're going to go through the timeline of your specific life, and we're going to clear the energetic resistance. Okay, this is a really powerful exercise. It's always a crowd favorite every year. So there's a lot of things that happen that we either experience or we see. And seeing can be just as powerful, because if you are a child and you see at age 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, your parents fighting over money, or your father giving your mum lots of money, but always being at work, never having time for her, and never telling her he loved her, then we come to these crazy conclusions, especially as a child, about money not being such a good thing, about money actually interfering with love, about people choosing money and work over love, relationships, and responsibility. And we think things like, I never want to be like that. I never want to do that. I always want to prioritize love and family over money and wealth or work. Okay, that's just one possible thing that can happen and has happened in people's lives that make them resistant to receiving money energetically and subconsciously, and they don't always recognize it or realize it. Another example, I work with a lot of women. And I work with a lot of women who have actually swung so far the other way when it comes to receiving money, care, and being taken care of financially by a man or from a man, that they have become the providers in their life, in their relationship, in their work, in their business. It means they work really hard to make money and to receive money, but they're not able to receive a partner who can actually provide them with money or who contributes equally to their relationship. And this sometimes happens for one of two reasons. One, later on in life, they might have had an earlier relationship where somebody, or they saw a relationship like their parents, where the father usually was the provider, very financially well off, and provided everything financially, but did not receive the love, care, trust, and affection that either the child craved and or the mother craved. And in that moment, that child decided that they were not going to ever be reliant or dependent on a man for money, and instead they would make their own money, but they would rather have a loving relationship. And therefore, they find partners who are very loving, but they don't contribute anything to their lives financially. And that eventually gets very stressful for your nervous system when you are the person responsible for providing because your partner is not able to help or contribute. Okay, that's one example and one scenario. The other thing that I've seen happen with women is they've been in a relationship with someone who was the provider, and they decided that they had no freedom and they hated being dependent on someone for their money. And so they got out of that relationship, and the next relationship they chose, again, they became the person with the money. They became the person that made the decisions. They became the masculine almost in that relationship, which there's nothing wrong with. But when anything is out of balance, when you go too far the other way of something, eventually that catches up with you and your nervous system as well. And again, that gets very exhausting. And you get to a point where you think, I would really like to be contributed to financially as well. And I would like it to be easier for me to receive without being the person that has to hustle so hard for the money. So those are just some examples in relation to relationships and love. But going through your life, you might have grown up hearing so many little sayings that we hear, right? About money, wealth, the rich people, the rich side of town, the people that think money is more important than relationships, the people who are evil because they have so much money. So many things are actually programmed into our subconscious mind around money that creates resistance. And if you do not become aware of that programming, this can be running the show when it comes to money in your life, money in your business. Okay. You might have an internal resistance to charging people money because you don't want to appear like you are taking advantage of people. You might have in the past seen or heard of people losing their money, being swindled out of their money, fraudulently losing their money, hearing stories about someone who was a bad person and ran away with someone's money or stole someone's money. And you thought, oh my gosh, I never want to be that person. That's so bad. That's so sad. I never want to be anyone who is remotely close to being accused of taking people's money or taking advantage of people for money. And therefore, even when you have a legitimate, helpful, healing business, service-based business, something where you are providing people something really amazing and you should be adequately paid and compensated for it, you have this huge resistance and even guilt around charging money, charging for your work, charging for your services. Okay, all of these are just small examples, but I want you to imagine the effect of a lifetime of such ideas, thoughts, observances, things you've heard, things you've been told, right, about money. And then I want you to imagine how your resistance to having a lot of money or even a decent amount of money can dramatically decrease. And based on your circumstances, I don't know all of you and what your backgrounds are. I've worked with people from every imaginable background, including people from cults, people from very religious institutions or backgrounds, people from families where they have nothing because they believe it is the noble thing to give everything away. and to just survive off what is provided for them. There are so many ideas and ideals to do with money in the world. And no matter what your background is with money, whether you come from a lot of money or you come from very little money, when we get to this point as adults, it is our job, and dare I say, our responsibility to actually create our own money story, because we have inherited one. And if we want to get conscious with money, as well as any other area in our life, we need to identify that story and then create the one that's actually true for us, that suits us, and that is generative and good for us and good for the planet. And you having money so you can be healthy, happy, wise, and contribute to society is a good thing. Okay. We have some great messages coming through on the chat. I'm just seeing, yes, somebody saying that she could recognize overlooking herself and not prioritizing herself. Parents saying someone said that they never heard their parents say they love each other, and now at 54 they have never told me they love me, and it all makes sense now. Narcissistic relationships, yes, this is huge. Financial abuse in relationships is huge. Whether it's financial abuse or not even an abusive situation, like I said, sometimes those situations are, you're dealing with a workaholic, you're dealing with an overachiever, you're dealing with someone who's in their own money wounds and worthiness wounds about needing to work hard and prove themselves and get the promotions and finally get the approval and affection of their father. And they don't even realize how they're hurting their own immediate family or their wife or their children by not being present and there for them and telling them they love them. Most of us are functioning from the unprocessed wounds from our childhood, from the formative years of our life. And this is the work that shines a light on it and gives you freedom from the past. So whatever your money story is, whatever your internal resistance to receiving and having money is, because you don't want to be seen as greedy, you don't want to be seen as too much, you don't want to be seen as only caring about money, you don't want to be seen as someone who is a healer or gifted but charges too much for their money. Whatever the backstory is to your resistance to money, your resistance to receiving, your resistance to abundance. And again, this can also apply to any area of your life. It doesn't just have to be money. This is where we do the work to clear the resistance, because your hidden energetic blocks shouldn't be the reason why you can't get what you would like to or receive what you would like to in your life. So today's exercise is a really powerful one. We are going to go through the timeline of your life. And I'm going to take you through the timeline of your life. I'm going to give you ages. I'm going to ask you to energetically go back to that age and space. I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to help you with identifying what and where in your body you hold in relation to a resistance or a belief about money, or even just a thought about money that has been living in your subconscious mind, that has been quietly programming you without you realizing. And then we're going to clear it. And then we're going to get to the end of the exercise, and we're going to become present and grounded in our bodies. And I'm going to show you and tell you what you need to do, so don't worry. And don't forget to keep participating. Don't forget to keep sharing what's coming up for you. And don't forget to stay around. And day 5 is almost here. And if you want to completely and finally get through all of this money stuff in your life and create miracles with money, I have the program for you. I'm going to launch it tomorrow for you. And like I've been saying, for 48 hours only, I'm going to give you an incredible opportunity to join me. So what I would like you to do is, first of all, we're going to get grounded, and we're going to get safe, and we're going to get present in our bodies, okay? The best way to do this if you're seated is to have your feet touching the ground If you want to sit on the ground, you can. If you are wanting to even lie down on the ground, you can. But the best way to do this is actually seated as I am, with your feet on the floor for a grounding effect, your spine straight, so we have access to your full body. And then I'm going to ask you to just take a few nice deep breaths in and out. Deep breath in, all the way out. And again, deep breath in, all the way out. Feeling very safe in your body, feeling very present in your body, being relaxed right now. Everything is fine. Whatever needs to happen in this exercise will happen. Whatever needs to come up, whatever needs to cognitively show up, whatever needs to energetically show up, whatever needs to be released from your body will happen organically. You don't have to worry about how to do it or how to control it. I'm going to be using muscle testing, and I'm going to be using a little bit of my kinesiology combined with body whispering to do this exercise for you. What you are going to do is just listen to the words that I say and then see what energy or sensation comes up for you in your body. Okay? All right, so we're going back through the timeline of your life. We're actually starting from preconception and in the womb. That is where, would you believe it, your money story starts. Not even from when you were born. It starts from before you were born. It starts from the moment you were conceived and the moment that you were implanted in your mother's womb. From that moment, you as an energetic being, and then finally, as you start to develop into that fetus and then into a full-term baby inside the womb, like I said earlier, you share the blood supply, the food supply, the energy, the hormones, and the emotions of your mother, and also her environment. So that means your father, your mother, any family they lived with or around at the time, and the environment and community they were in. And that stuff does impact you, and it can be the foundation of your money story. So I'm going to get you to go back energetically through the timeline of your life. You can close your eyes to do this. I just want you to be timeless and ageless right now and just see what comes up. And I'm going to ask you, when you were conceived, when you were in the womb, when you were not yet born, I want you to become aware of, either cognitively or energetically, any situations, any conversations, any environments that contributed to you having resistance to receiving money now. So that means you would have no cognitive memory of this, but you might know because you were told, you have been told throughout your life. When you were in your mother's tummy, before you were born, we had very little money. We lived in a grass shack. We lived with your grandparents. We lived on a farm and we had to work really hard. Or we had so much money before you were born, and then we lost it all due to bankruptcy. We lost it all the year that you were born. Some of these things that you might have been taught or told about your family's history, about your parents' situation, you might know that your parents were very young when they had you. They were two young people trying to get through life, trying to figure it out, and they had very little money available to them. And you can imagine, with a new baby on the way, they were stressed about money. They had concerns about how they were going to provide for you, and they were wondering how they were going to do it. And all of these little thoughts and things might have contributed to how you currently feel about being able to have enough money in your life, or not wanting to lose money, or having to work very hard for money. Okay. Yeah, someone's saying it was burnt. Maybe you're meaning your home was burnt. This is exactly the kind of stuff I mean. People's homes get burnt down to the ground. People's families lose their businesses. People have deaths in their family that result in the whole family business being destroyed. People have land wars, people have business wars, people have people running away with their money. All of these kinds of stories I have worked with clients all over the world, which is why this is coming up, and I'm saying it contributes to your money story. So all of And this is a fantastic one. Someone in the comments is saying that they recently came to know that her parents moved to India after the partition. And something I was going to bring up is you may know that your parents, right before you were born, or even while your mother was pregnant, or you were conceived as your parents, were moving countries, or they were refugees, or they were fleeing a war-torn country. There are so many situations like this all over the world that I've worked with, and these things are in the energetics that very much created your reality and your parents' reality at that time. There was a real lack of safety or certainty. Even though there was hope for a better future and hope for being settled in a new country where everything would be okay, imagine the uncertainty. Imagine your parents' nervous systems when it came to feeling safe, feeling secure, knowing where their future was going to be and what it would be like. Imagine what your little undeveloped nervous system at that point was picking up on and starting to function from or as. Cool. Right. So what I'm going to do is now we're going to move forward to the next age group, and then we're going to do a little clearing, and we're going to continue in that way. So I want you to now move forward in the timeline of your life to from age 0. So now you have been born to age 2. So from age 0 to 2, the formative years of your life, you are a baby, you are a newborn, you are a toddler, you are an infant, you are learning everything about the world. And how are you learning it? Not from words. You're learning it through observation and energetics, what you energetically pick up on. And I would like you to ask your body, ask your energy, ask your subconscious mind to show you or to tell you, what did you learn about money at that point? Did you learn that there was enough? There was more than enough? That you were cared for, looked after, that there was abundance, that money would come easily, that all your needs were provided for? Maybe you came from a really rich family, and that's fantastic. Was there fighting about money around you? Was there worry about money? Was there fear? Was there dread? Was there not enough? Whatever it is that you are becoming aware of energetically, what is your body showing you? Where did your body hold it? Did money, when money came up as a topic in your life, does it present, and did it present even as a child, as this weird feeling in your stomach, or a weird feeling in your chest, or a tightening up of your shoulders? Because even though you didn't understand what was going on, you would hear your parents arguing about this thing called money, or your mum would be crying, or your parents had to sell stuff, or you didn't know why things felt so tense towards the end of every month. Whatever it is, wherever it is in your body that you're feeling this, I'm now going to ask you to place one hand over that body part. It might be your heart, it might be your chest, or it might be your stomach. And your other hand goes across your forehead. And I'm going to ask you to just kind of allow yourself to come into this little cocoon space and imagine yourself. Go back through the timeline of your life from preconception to age 2. Whatever created the strongest memory or resistance for you. And I would like you to breathe through it as I now clear this with you. I'd like you to take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, I'd like you to imagine letting go of the resistance that was created at that point in time. Anywhere where that resistance shows up in your body, in your throat, in your chest, in your heart, in your stomach, in your spleen, in your back, in your shoulders, I want you to allow yourself to let it go. I would like you to say to your body, it is safe to let this go now. I'm willing to let this go. I'm ready to let this go. I am no longer that little baby in that situation, and it's safe for me to let go of the resistance that was created around money in my life. And you might feel your body release. You might notice that you subconsciously or consciously take a deep breath, change your posture, feel your body relax, feel some sort of sensation, feel some sort of release. You might have tears, that's okay. You might have intensity. When your body releases something, we don't have to go into analyzing why we are crying, why our body is doing what it is doing. We are very much psychosomatic beings. That means what we think about, what happens in our mind, does create a result in our bodies. And when we clear and heal, then we are going through that reversal process. And crying or tears can just be a release. It doesn't have to be an emotional breakdown. So allow yourself to go through whatever release you are experiencing. And continue to take nice deep breaths in and out, because, as I say, breath is a facilitator. And I use a lot of repetition in my work and in these sessions and over every 5 days. And the reason I use a lot of repetition is because the more you hear it, the more you'll eventually believe it. It's not about what you know or don't know. We all know a lot of things. We all hear a lot of things. There's a difference between hearing and believing, and then from believing to embodying. And that is why I use so much repetition. Okay. All right, now we're moving forward. So now we're at age 2, and we're going to age 2, 3, 4. Age 4. You're 4. Okay, which is an interesting time, because at around age 4, and this can be from 3 to 5, 4 is in the middle. Around age 4, you're probably 1 year away from starting school. Around age 4, at some point, you might have had a new sibling arrive on the scene between age 2 and 4. Right? By the time you're 2, 3, 4, you might have had either another sibling arrive or arriving. You also may be starting to get prepared to start school. You may have already started kindergarten or daycare, and you're starting to understand a little bit more about the world. You might be starting to hear things like you're a big boy, you're a big girl, or now you're a big brother, big sister, whatever it is. I want you to ask your body, what does it hold? What does it store? What did it start to believe about money from that age? You might have been told or taught at that age that you have to share everything. You might have been told that you need to start acting like the older sibling. You might not have understood why you couldn't get, because now you're old enough that you can go out and you go to the toy store, or you walk past the toy store, or at a shop, you see something you want and you want it, and you get told, no, you can't have it. And as a child, you still don't quite understand the concept of money, but you're starting to understand that you get told things like, no, you can't have it, we can't afford it, you can't always get everything you want. You're starting to develop this idea that for some reason you don't always get what you want. And it doesn't make sense, but it's starting to create some sort of reality in your body. You might be the opposite. You might be extremely spoiled. Okay, you might get everything you want all of the time. You might be the child that has a million toys, and every time you go out, you get something new, and every time your parents come home, you get a new toy. And your reality right now is fantastic. But you're starting to realize that there is something in the world called money, and there is something that sometimes creates a little bit of a weird feeling, sensation, or energy around you when it comes to money. Maybe because you have a lot of it, but your friend from school or kindergarten doesn't. Maybe because you went to a birthday party and you realized that not everyone was the same as you. Maybe because you really wanted something for your birthday, but you didn't get what you really wanted, and you don't understand why. Maybe you celebrate Christmas and somebody else is getting much nicer presents than you, and you don't understand why Santa likes another child more than you. What are your thoughts, beliefs, and subconscious memories or associations from this age to do with money, receiving, and abundance? So, whatever it is that your body's showing you, telling you, jealousy is a great, word here because this is absolutely, as a child, also, jealousy is, it doesn't even make sense because we don't understand, like I said, why somebody else would be getting more than us. And it creates a real irrationality and not understanding why. And that can drive you crazy. It still drives us crazy as adults, but as a child, it can be very frustrating. And then that frustration can be compounded because then you might hear things like, be a good girl, be a good boy. Why are you acting up? You can't, don't be jealous. Don't try and take somebody else's toys. Be be happy with how much you get. Be happy with what you get. Be happy with what you have. Don't compare yourself to others. Be grateful. All of these little things are starting to sneak in. And that dissonance, the dissonance between, well, I wasn't ungrateful, but why can't I have more? Why is there a limit? And why does somebody get more than me? All of these things. So I'd like you to go to where in your body you hold this or store this. Whatever thoughts, ideas, ideals, beliefs, behaviors are coming up for you right now in your mind, body, or energy. Place your hand over your heart, your chest, or your stomach. Your other hand goes across your forehead, coming into that safe space, coming into that cocoon, and starting to release, taking a nice deep breath in and breathe out. Taking a nice deep breath in and breathe all the way out. Yep. And it's okay if you're feeling dizzy, if you're feeling sensations, if you're feeling anything, breathe through it. Use breath as your facilitator. Nice deep breaths in and out until you feel that release. You feel yourself come through to the other side. Okay. When you're ready, join me again, and we are going to age 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Age 7 to 10, okay? Preteen, really starting to understand, oh my gosh, people are different, families are different. There is something called money. I either need to earn my pocket money, or there is no pocket money, or I get everything I want, or I get nothing I want, or I have to work really hard and get perfect grades in order to be rewarded with what I want. I don't always get what I ask for. I'm constantly told that I need to be a good girl or a good boy. I am seeing or hearing or observing conversations about money, worry about money, or celebrations and flamboyance with money. Whatever it is that's going on in the world around you, just go back through the timeline of your life energetically. Age 7, 8, 9, 10. You're a child going through childhood, starting to make sense of the world and this concept called money, the concept of receiving, the concept of abundance. At this age, you really start to get programmed around behavior. Say thank you, say please, have a smile on your face. It doesn't matter if you didn't like the present you got, you must say thank you. You must be polite. You must share. You must be gracious. You must have good manners. You must get a good report card. Whatever it is, you need to help out at home. You need to earn your pocket money. You need to prove your worth. You need to do as much as your sibling or your cousin. Why can't you be more like the neighbor's kids or your cousins or whatever? All of this stuff actually contributes towards our relationship with receiving, with abundance, with worthiness. So I'd like you to go to your body, and whatever it is that's coming up, whatever energy is coming up, place one hand over wherever feels most resonant to you, your chest and your heart area, your stomach, your belly button area. For a few of you, it might actually be your throat. And then your other hand goes across your memory points or your emotional points, and you take a nice deep breath in And you breathe out and you let yourself know that it is safe now for you to let go of the programming, of the beliefs, of the wounds that you picked up at that age. That even though you were doing your best at the time, it's okay that you didn't understand and that you created or you had resistance to receiving because of the things you saw or heard or experienced at that age. It's safe for you to let go of it now. It's safe for you to be present in your body now. And it's safe for you to have your own reality with money, receiving, and abundance now. Okay, when you're ready, join me again. And then we get to the formative years of your adulthood, which is your teen years, ages kind of 13 to 15. 13 to 15, you're really starting to get an idea of the world. Some of you are even starting to really get a concept of money because you're starting to get or need to get after school jobs. Maybe you're doing a paper run. Maybe you're already starting to think about what you want to be or do in the world. Maybe you're already in your family, there's conversations about you being a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, having lots of money. Maybe you're already picking up on socioeconomic climates and conditions and starting to understand that there's different groups, there's different economies, there's different people with different realities with money, with receiving, with luck, with worthiness. You wouldn't be using those words at the time, but you're starting to realize that there's all these different things that happen and they have something to do with what you can have, how much you can have, how much you can receive, what you need to do in order to receive. And again, also, you needing to do things in the world is really starting to increase at this point, whether it's you need to study hard and get good grades, or you've also been told, or you've already started thinking about what you want to do after school, or you're getting a part-time job, you're starting to help out in the family business or family shop, you're asked to look after your siblings, you're asked to do babysitting work, your parents are starting to rely on you more for your help around the home or the house or with the family. All sorts of things start to happen at this age. You start to really worry about, if I don't get good grades, what if I don't get into a good college or university? And what if I don't make a lot of money? You know, until now, the conversation or the dialogue has always been, you need to go to school and get good grades so you can get a good job so you can make good money, right? And that was very much told to people up until this generation. Or you were told that you needed to behave or act in a certain way in order to be accepted, in order to be received, in order to be included. Maybe this is starting to happen in your social groups, in your school groups. Maybe you're starting to understand or realize that the more money somebody has, the better or easier their life is. Or maybe you don't like someone because they seem to be a show off because they have so much money. Yeah, Janice is saying so much jealousy and anger showed up and not enough money, struggle with money. Yes. This is where also, at this age, your peer group is everything. So starting to compare yourself, you want to have the right clothes and the accessories and be able to do all the cool things and have the money for the movies and the extracurricular activities. And all of these things are creating your worldview. And there might be jealousy coming up. There might be anger. There might be envy. There might be wishfulness. There might be dread anytime a situation or a conversation around money comes up. There might be so many emotions going on, and then you add to that at this time in your life you're going through the hormonal changes. You're going from a child to a teenager, and a teenager to a pre-adult, and all of these things are going on. Feeling lonely, very, very common. No one seemed to listen to you, or give you the attention that you deserve. And attention is a very um, valuable currency. We don't understand quite fast enough how much attention has to do with proving or creating our self-worth, especially as children. And so if you were not given the attention that you deserved, that you desired, for whatever reason, whether it was given to others or your parents were simply so busy just trying to survive in their own lives that they couldn't give you the time and attention you desired, or your colleagues or your peers didn't, or your teachers didn't, or your mentors didn't, that can create huge worthiness wounds. And these same worthiness wounds create how we receive everything in life, right? So I want you to go to all of that energy and place one hand over your chest or heart area, because it's probably a lot of stuff sits in our chest and heart at this point. Other hand across your forehead. You're going to roll forward into a ball, and you're just going to allow yourself to take deep breaths in and out. And I just want you to let yourself know that it is safe for me to release everything I hold in my body from that age to do with money, worth, and receiving. It is safe for me now to move forward in my life and to be so worthy, to have all of my desires met, and to no longer compare myself to anyone. Ooh, and I got chills with that one. All the comparison that was happening at that time in your life. And just let your body let that go, shrug it off your shoulders. You might want to kind of shake it off, shake it out. Feel that energy move. Feel your body posture start to change. Feel your shoulders start to drop as we start to let go of the unnecessary baggage. Feel yourself lighten up energetically. Feel, even though this stuff is heavy as we go through it, feel that lightness start to emerge, okay? Finally, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 17 to 18 years of life. As we get to crossing that threshold into adulthood, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. As you stand on the threshold of becoming an independent individual in the world, someone who is going to college or graduating from college, getting their first job, falling in love, getting married, starting their own family. As you stand on this threshold at this time in your life, your ideas, your beliefs, the things you've learned, the things you've taken on about money, get a sense, get an awareness, get this energetic hit about what that is, where you store it in your body, what you have believed about who you are, what you're worthy of, how hard you had to work, what you had to do at that time to get good grades, to put yourself through college, to pay for tuition, to pay rent for your first apartment. Maybe you moved out at 18. Maybe you moved to a different city. Maybe you moved to a different country. Maybe you left your friends group, your comfort zone. Maybe you had to start all over again. Maybe at 17, you realized that you didn't want to go to college and you got your first full-time job. Maybe at 21, you bought your first car and then it broke down and it cost you so much money. All of these things, all of these experiences, all of these beliefs, and all of the input, because this is the final age where you're still on that threshold of being a child and you still have people saying things to you, trying to give you attention, trying to give you advice, trying to influence you, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Parents are still trying to contribute to you or give you advice or tell you what to do or what not to do. Maybe you're listening to mentors, teachers, friends. Maybe you're trying to copy your peers. Maybe you're trying to get into the same college as somebody else. Maybe you're trying to follow your boyfriend or girlfriend to whatever they're doing. Maybe you're trying at that age to to get into your chosen career field, maybe you've already decided, I really want to be like my mother or father, or I really don't want to be like my mother or father. Maybe you know you're going to enter into the family business and that's what you're going to do. Maybe you have no idea who you are and what you want to do, and it's very, very confusing. And you don't know how you feel and how to get through life and how to make enough money or what you're going to do and how it's going to all work out. And all of that, when we are in that phase of our life, and we're also having to do the practical part of learning how to work with money, how to deal with money, how to allocate your first paycheck, how to pay for bills. Maybe for the first time you had to pay for bills because you're no longer a child and you're no longer living at home. Maybe you're starting to realize that money is easy for you, or maybe you're starting to realize money is hard for you to manage. Maybe you already are needing to take out loans or have student loans or have debt, or maybe you're just enjoying life because you're living off your parents and everything's great. And whatever it is that's going on around you, allow your body to show you whatever lessons, beliefs, ideas, ideals, and thoughts you carry from that moment in time. Taking a nice deep breath in, breathing out, see where you hold it in your body. Place one hand over your chest, one hand over your forehead, rolling forward into a ball. Taking a nice deep breath in, and letting yourself know that you are not 17, 18, 19, 20, or 21 anymore, and you can breathe out and let go of any of the mistakes that you made at that age, any of the false beliefs that you had, any of the wrong decisions you took, any of the money you lost, any of the money you earned, any of the things that you believed or thought about money that were true or were not true, that influenced you. Whatever it is that's coming up, all of the shame, all of the regrets, let it go from your body. Something, I don't know you and your personal story, but what I know is you probably did the best you could with what you had at the time. You did the best you could at that time for the situation you were in. And as we know better, we can do better, but we don't need to beat ourselves up about the past. So any of the shame, any of the regret, any of the anger, any of the wistfulness, any of the desire that you feel is still unfulfilled from earlier in your life, allow it to leave your body and allow yourself to realize that you still have time. You still have the chance to do what you want to and to receive abundantly in your life and to create the life you would like to. And even if you've made mistakes with money, you can start fresh today. Give yourself that permission, give yourself that blessing. Allow your body to let go of anything it's been holding on to for all of these years. Taking a nice deep breath in, breathing out, relaxing. And in these final few moments, just say, it's safe for me to receive money abundantly. It's safe for me to have my own reality with money. I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able to clear all of the energetic blocks and resistance to receiving money that I have held until now. And I'm open to unlimited money, wealth, and abundance in my life and in my body. And just 3 long, slow, deep breaths, 4 counts in, Hold for 2 and then 4 counts out. Do that 3 times. Allow your whole nervous system to integrate, become present in this time and space. Feel safe, feel grateful, feel happy, feel lighter. You might want to shake it out, like I said, shake out your arms, legs, reset your nervous system. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments. Let me know how that went for you. I would like you to remember that we've done a powerful exercise today, so please drink a lot of water. Please be kind to yourself. Please rest if you feel tired. And keep us posted. Keep posting in the group about your wins, your receiving, your miracle events happening. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place, wherever you are. And it's our final day of the 5-day money challenge, and we'll have an exciting announcement for you. And I can't wait to see you guys then. In the meantime, look after yourselves, stay open, stay blessed, and I'll see you soon.